The episode Sacrifice, which was our season ender, 2-part episode. Very complicated episode. You know, we'd always struggled with how do you do a season ender to where the fans would go, oh, we got to come back next season and watch.
It was written fairly late in the year, and we already had some notion of where we were going to go in the next season.
Sacrifice was something that Paul Coyle and I tackled. Paul being a writer and producer on Hercules and a freelance writer for us. So we kind of went back and forth over the stories. I would look at his, he would look at mine, we'd give input to each other, and then we sat down and wrote the scripts. We wanted to solidify the relationship between Gabrielle and Xena at that point. We wanted to show that they had a greater purpose. We wanted to show that they were keystones in fate, in the history of humanity. And we wanted to set up what could be the battle for the dominion of the earth. And we wanted to do it in about 90 minutes. So there were a lot of layers to put in with this. One of the things that I think we all jumped onto immediately was the idea of Callisto's involvement with this.
You just weren't built to hold a real god, were you? Huh. She's like a spider. She's very agile, but she's very she's always moving, and her fingers are always moving, and her body's always moving.
It's a prismatic performance from her, always. You put the information in, it's like one beam of light, and then she's going to splay it out into a million colours. So she always does something kind of fabulous and unexpected, and all at once, too, you know? She'll do, she's going to give you all the colours of the rainbow all at once, without any effort whatsoever.
Callisto had been dispatched before. One of the things about Callisto was that at a certain point, you have to figure out what you do with the character, any kind of a villain. If they keep coming back and keep coming back, you kind of show them as being fairly weak because they're always defeated.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
So Callisto was brought in to be the ally of this new god that was going to be appearing on the face of the earth.
There you are.
The intriguing thing about it was, well, what in the world would Callisto want to do that for? Callisto has her own motivations. And that ended up being one of the fun things to write. Why was Callisto doing this? She doesn't care about Bayhawk. She doesn't care about humanity. She doesn't care. That's the key. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about anything.
You want to die?
More than that. I want oblivion. I want my life to end. I want it all to stop. No nothing. No memories, no Tartarus, nothing.
It's a very significant thing she says to the priest, where she says, tell Hope that I just want it to end. I don't want any memories. I don't want Tartarus. I don't want an afterlife. I want nothing. I want it to stop, everything.
She agrees.
Because now she was starting to be eaten up by nothingness. No regard for anything, not even herself. Doesn't care, doesn't feel. How do you write that character? It's really a fun character to write. Now, having written that, who's going to bring it to the screen? Well, it's one of my favorite Callisto episodes. The delight that she brings, that Hudson brings to that character when she plays this particular interpretation of Callisto still makes me chuckle, still makes me laugh. And I don't mean laugh in the sense of like, oh, that's funny, but laugh in the sense of, wow, man, she got that. She really got that, and she pushed it out there on the screen.
Well, I can tell you why Hudson wanted oblivion. There wasn't, I mean, there's only so many times you can try to kill the hero being a god and having rocks fall on your head. Really, where else can you go? You're just a dumb god that has to go through life being stopped by rocks. Yeah, when we were doing the rocks, they actually wanted me to go, okay, rocks are gonna fall on your head, and I want you to look like, oh, here we go again. I mean, you think that the god would look up and go, rocks are going to be falling. I have a finger that can shoot fire. I could just, I mean, she could flick Xena away. Can she not flick rocks? It doesn't work with the finger, I guess, not rocks, just humans. I don't know. It was odd. They had to stop her some way.
Yes, I know Jayhawk has a plan. And yes, I know people must die. But it's for the greater good.
Playing Seraphine as being part of the equation, this really nice but kind of ditzy, naive girl that Gabrielle has some sort of a relationship with, and yet you realize it's this little girl's blood that's going to bring about the destruction of the world, and she totally believes it, and she's willing to give her life for it, and the rationale of her mentality. Dayhawk is going to bring peace to the world. You know something? Everything she says makes sense.
What is that? Can you
Everything
explain
she
it to me?
says is logical.
It's a time when she
Yeah, sure, a
becomes her
few people have to
destiny
die,
and she
but come
emerges
on, for the
stronger and
greater
more
good?
powerful.
Isn't it worth it?
The goddess Hope knows. I can feel it. And if Xena kills her...
There was also another little cut and dodge that I did in there, which was when Gabrielle allows Seraphine to go free. One of the keys about doing a cut and dodge, where you fool the audience, they think you're going one way and you turn the other way, is that you have to write it as if you're convincing yourself. And I did that argument with Seraphine. Seraphine gives a great argument to Gabrielle. Of course Hope is the way she is. She didn't have her mother. She needs her mother now. And then Gabrielle says, go and warn her. Then of course Xena walks up and says, good job, you almost fooled me.
The connection Hope has to her followers, Seraphine should lead me right to her. You almost convinced me.
I've often said that I think Gabrielle was, in one very important sense, the true hero of the piece, of the entire series, because Xena chose darkness, and then she chose to try to walk into the light. Gabrielle came from light, and she chose to walk freely into the dark. That's a truly heroic thing to do, especially doing it for the right reasons. So her education, however, has been what the series has been about. She's been our point of view, you know, traveling along with this warrior princess.
The best part about playing Hope was the first scene when you actually saw her coming out of the cocoon, because she had nothing to say. But it was really interesting because it was like your first approach to seeing the adult version of this evil child.
Overall, I'd say it was probably one of the most difficult episodes that certainly that I wrote.